Hey, it's TK, Irish Camp Kennerk Podcast, and I have a letter from my cousin Sean in Tipperary Springs. Now, I'm going to have to read this real slow because he doesn't write very fast, so you just have to be patient with me. Dear cousin TK, greetings from Tipperary Springs. Things are quiet here, unless you count the town council arguing over whether the pothole on Main Street is actually a road hazard or a fishing pond. Oh, bye. I'm not writing about Tipperary Springs today. I'm going to be writing about a little town a few miles down the way. It's so small, as a matter of fact, the population sign that says, depends who's in jail. Wow, that says something. Now, the strange thing about this town is that every male is single. That means the mayor, single, banker, single, chief of police, single, the barber, single, even the pastor. But there's one guy there that is married in our town, and he's the town drunk. His name's Patrick, and he lives behind a bait shop and drinks beer out of a coffee cup, and so people think he's working. And somehow Patrick has become the marriage expert. People ask him, Patrick, what's the secret of a long marriage? And Patrick's wisdom, he says two things: selective hearing and a refrigerator in the garage. Then he says, mostly the refrigerator. The mayor asked him how he stayed married for 25 years. And Patrick said, every time my wife gets mad, I go fishing. The mayor said, that's the secret? Patrick says, nah, the secret is she doesn't know I don't go fishing. Turns out Patrick just sits on the lake drinking beer with the turtles for 6 hours. And anyway, nobody else at that town's got married because when the town drunk sits behind the bait shop and is your relationship role model, you don't have to plan a wedding. What you need is a garage refrigerator. So, Doug, the neighbor, I'm not going to ask you if you have a refrigerator in your garage. I just got to know how many you have because, the thing about cousin Sean here, he's always got the little wisdom, but he always leaves things out a little bit. So you walk away. I think you sort of recognize this with Sean, even though he's attending at the pub. He's just got a way of saying things, and I'm really glad he brought this subject up about the neighbor town over because it is really. I have driven by that town when I visited him, and it's not doesn't have a stop sign, you're a stoplight, or it's just if you blink, you miss it. But at the same time, if you do that, you're going to miss Patrick's words of wisdom about being married. Well, it's not all bad sometimes just to have selective hearing. Douglas, have you thought about this on how you could practice selective hearing? I mean, my grandmother had selective hearing, and that was because she turned her hearing aids off. So that worked quite well because she would just nod her head and grin.
TK, so good to see you. Selective hearing, yes, I know all about it. The best way to counter selective hearing is to keep talking. Just keep talking. You can't hear a thing.
But with my grandmother, the problem was is that if we tried to say something that we didn't want her to hear, what's that? What'd you say? So we were always confused. And then she took that to her grave, whether it was selective hearing, the hearing aid was not working properly. So we always had to be real careful on how we talked with her.
That's interesting. And you just mentioned the town over from Tipperary Springs. I just looked it up. Amazingly enough, it's called Thomastown.
I see. Well, that's
Thomas.
clever. You
Yeah.
know, as as I was saying, don't confuse it. Where are you going, Thomas? Thomas, I'm
And
going
if
to
I
Thomas.
remember correctly, Sean's wife is expecting child number 8, and they expect it to be a boy, and they're naming it Thomas after you.
Yeah. So here's the thing about this, Douglas, about living in a town or being close by a town. Thomas, where you been, Thomas? Well, you don't know whether that's a person, Because if it's a person, then I don't want to see that Thomas around here. He's a bad influence. I know his kind. Versus, oh, that's a lovely town. I have some friends there.
And one of them being Patrick, who has Irish free advice for a
Oh,
pint. That's
yes,
probably, yeah, that's why he probably has a refrigerator that's full, is because he charges for his advice, you see.
yeah, rightfully
Mine,
so. Rightfully
mine's
so.
free advice for $1, but he charges for a pint. Maybe I should up my rates.
Well, you don't know until you try. You know?
Yeah, well, maybe, or just go for a taco.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper, beer, Lone Star.
Speaking of Dr. Pepper, got mine right here.
I got mine right here too, and I'm
Gotta get my sip in.
yes, yes. Now,
Mm,
TK, it's really good to see you on this special occasion because this is our 80th podcast. 80th.
80.
We have done 80 podcasts, sports on Sunday mornings, and then uh, chatter Camp Kennerk Chatter on Wednesday nights, and then special podcasts where we've interviewed 14 people who are happy campers. And of course, we are constantly looking for other people to interview. And I've got a few feelers out there and always looking forward to what they have to say and their great stories. So,
Well,
but
now, did you tell them, Douglas, there's a free gift with every visit? You
oh,
know,
yes, I did. Yes, I do bribe them. Yes, I do
yeah,
bribe them. Yeah,
yeah.
yes. Okay, so.
Obviously, they haven't worked very well. What are you bribing them with? Some of our Cracker Jack popcorn?
Well, in the past, we've given out the flippers for the Possum Trot Flipper Walk, which I go into training starting May 1st because it's very tough, and I've got to get out on the streets here and start flipping. It'll be our sixth top Possum Trot Flipper walk up Possum Trot and those two vicious hills and raising money for Dell Children's Cancer Fund, our sixth one. And you were here last year with the boys, so I really appreciated that. And May 1st, I start training and handing out flyers and things like that. So, yes, the happy campers have been given replica flippers to flip off Big C. Flip off
Yes,
Big C.
that's
Yes.
great. That's
Yeah.
great.
So, but anyway, our 80th podcast and on this special day. Now, I'd like to talk about two different dates. Monday was the 20th, which was 420, 420, April 20th, 420.
Yes.
Now, in hippie culture, 420 is related to marijuana, and there's an old history to it that in high school, some kids in California would meet out beyond the stadium to have a little smoke break or 420 after school, 420, some sort of thing like that. That starts, so why it's called 420, and they honor marijuana culture on 420. But more importantly, today is 422. Okay. And it's my half birthday.
Which
Half.
half? Which
Well,
half?
the first half, you see, my birthday and then 6 months later. So it's my half birthday. And what's interesting is that Hallmark needs our marketing advice because why aren't there birthday cards out there? Happy half birthday. Happy
Well, what we
half.
do, here's an idea. We send birthday cards out that are cut in half. And then let them figure out why they got like half a card.
And a little writing on the remainder, happy half birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Half a card.
I think
Half,
that'd be a
yeah. And it says hap day. I
exactly.
think that's $1 million idea, TK.
I think you're right.
Okay. Now, no, looking at the Camp Kennerk studios there, I see you've made some arrangements. What is that painting that's over your right shoulder there?
Uh, that's my Matisse. It's called Jazz. And I've had this for quite a while. It sort of inspires me for the love of the music. Jazz has a special place in my heart. I've always enjoyed going, listening to jazz, whether it's live concerts, little cafes around the world. But when I saw that, I said, that needs to go to Camp Kennerk. That needs to have a place of prominence, you might want to say.
Well, it's beautiful. And Henry Matisse, a French painter, and it's that painting is called Jazz.
Yeah. So it's all
I,
that jazz, man.
I love it. I love it. Now, I've been talking a little bit here. Let me get a little bit of Dr. Pepper here. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. There you go. Now, we are also celebrating the first month of Cracker Box Popcorn, our first sponsor, and I'd like to get a little popcorn here. It's really kind of good. It comes from Lander, Wyoming, and this is the caramel pop, but from Cracker Box Popcorn up there in Lander, Wyoming.
Yes, and they rumor has it is that they are making a special Camp Kennerk podcast popcorn. They got
I love it. I
they got
love
a secret recipe that they've developed just for us.
it.
And
Yeah, so we got a big deal coming.
yeah, oh yeah,
Let's not talk about it and destroy the luck. But anyway,
okay, all right, fair enough.
okay, so let's do the art department's advertisement here on this billboard. There you go, Cracker Box Popcorn, 307-335-7020. Talk to Maxie up in Lander, Wyoming. Can you see all that?
Yes,
Yes, our art department has done a terrific job with no money, so we appreciate that. Now, I have something very serious coming up, and I'm trying to make light of it, and so here we go. Well, there you go. These are Star Trek glasses. You know, now they go around.
yeah,
They call
I
them
got
Star
that.
Wars glasses. I'm having another cataract on removal on my left eye because my right eye was, amazingly enough, was done 5 years ago this week. My right eye. And
Yeah,
I can, with my right eye, I can read all of the writing on your plaques back there. I can see Henry back here. I can read it with my right eye. With my left eye, it's all of this. I just can see things. And so I'm really looking forward to the operation to where I can have both eyes being able to see, because at this age I now have to have cataract removal.
well,
And
I
go ahead.
I had a friend of mine. He didn't have cataracts, but he had LASIK surgery.
Mhm.
And the next day, that he comes downstairs, and he's all in a huff and a puff. Uh, Wife goes, "What's going on?" I says, "I can't find my glasses." She goes, "You don't need your glasses. You had surgery." And he blinks. Yeah, I guess you're right.
And believe me, to anyone who has never had cataracts or LASIK, it is amazing. It's like your eyeballs go back to when you're 10 years old. Like I said, I can read all this over here, but with my left eye, it's just all a blur. It's all a blur. And so you have to wear these glasses for a while for one reason. Your eyes are so clear that it's too bright. It's just way too bright. So I'm getting ready and to have these cataracts and my glasses, my cool Star Wars glasses, I
Oh
call them.
yeah, yeah. When you go down to HEB, everybody's gonna be shaking their head and talking and going, "What's Doug up to now?"
Of course, I walk there, so I'm going to have to go with the cane, and so everyone's going to look at me and say, "Oh, he's really old. He's really old. Is this my future?" And I'm going to go,
That's
"Yep."
right.
And wait till you find out about the pens. Oh, I'll never wear them. Oh, you'll know exactly. They're on aisle 5 there on the right-hand side. You'll know all about them. So that's next week. I'm very excited about it because it has been kind of, it's bothersome because I just can't read. I
Yeah,
can't see
yeah.
certain things. I have to get out the magnifying glass, which I have right here, when print gets a little too small. But more importantly, we found out a little something from Bill Buffalo, a stand-up comedian down there in Houston, when we mentioned the fact that he had sent us a bag of dried prunes of his opinion of the Camp Kennerk podcast. And so he said that. And I said, well, Bill, thank you very much. You're the one who sent us the dried prunes. They work. But we're going to continue with the podcast.
We got bad news. See, bad news. We're not going away.
Yes, and they're dried California, so why can't they be Texas prunes? You see that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Because those are the ones that work. The dried ones may not work. Anyway, so that's happened. Now, TK, I have my popcorn from Carmel Box Popcorn up there in Landers, Wyoming. And I've got my prunes right here. I've got my Dr. Pepper on our 80th podcast. I'm very, very excited for this to have happen. But there's a special day on Saturday. Here in Austin, in 1963, some students at UT, the University of Texas Austin, started a little party called Eeyore's Birthday. And Eeyore is the depressed donkey in Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. And the story was that the donkey didn't have a birthday. So these students, led by a man named Lloyd Birdwell, started a party at Peace Park 63 years ago. And so this Saturday, it's free. There's booths there, and there's people banging drums and singing happy birthday and dancing and jewelry, kind of a situation for hippies. And it's grown tremendously. So I hope to go to that on Saturday, God willing, and the creek don't rise. But Eeyore's birthday is on Saturday, the 26th. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's going to be a great birthday
that'd
party.
be the 25th, right?
Yeah.
25th, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's what's going on here in Austin. Anything good up there in Camp Kennerk?
Yeah, we've got some breaking the weather. We've had rain the last couple of days, and everybody's got 10 fingers, 10 toes, and that's one of the requirements. The other one is when you wake up in the morning, both your feet should touch the ground at the same time. So those are some of the words of wisdom that we try to follow here. We don't make things complicated. We don't have all these different slogans and things of that nature. We just try to go low, go slow, and make sure everybody's got a humorous story to tell.
Oh, that's beautiful. And the Kennerk boys are working?
Oh, yes. Yes, they're gainfully employed, and
I'd love to hear that. Okay.
love hearing that. And they're working for a local tree company, cutting up trees. So they are coming home quite tired. They took, as we used to say back home, it take the edge off them.
And now they can pay for their own cold beverage, an iced tea or a Dr. Pepper, right?
Yeah, and there's always abundance of that seems to be floating around here.
And then they can pay for instead of drinking the old man's.
Yeah, exactly. And I've given up trying to hide it because they know where all the hiding places are.
You raise smart boys, TK.
Sometimes too smart for their own good.
TK, that's just beautiful. Free advice to the Kennerk boys now that they have a job. Save your money.
That's right.
And if you don't know how, talk to your grandmother.
Well, you know what? Moses saves, Jesus invests.
I like that. I never heard that one. That's a good one. All right.
I got a million of them, Douglas. You know that.
TK, got my Dr. Pepper. You got your Dr. Pepper?
Right here, buddy.
All right. It's all good. It's all good. Play ball.
Aaron, go brawl.